Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope you can hear me clearly. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is a section we've all been waiting for. I believe that we are all set for myself. I can't wait to learn. What I'll do is I'll just see my pen. I'll just take some wonderful and insightful notes. I would I would use to bless my life and help myself. So we are going to be starting the section very soon, and we have some wonderful panelists with us today. A lot to learn from their journey. This section is going to help many of us that you're looking at how to start your own process to become eligible for the global talent visa. That's how I understand it. Though. You want to know if you're eligible. There's a lot to get from this section. You want to also find out what it takes to be eligible. This section is for you as well. You learn a lot from this section. So we have a wonderful panelists that have done the section eligibility sections with us. These are the things we also clarify along the line. They've done the eligibility section with us, and they have discovered or realized, okay, if they're eligible or not. So they are going to walk us through their own situation and their experience with us as well, and also advice. And we have Dr. Marian as well with us. She's going to also be here as an advisor to also guide. And so I believe there's a whole lot we are going to learn. Like it was said to us, it's a lot of insider tips, success stories, information is going to be unpacked. That's how I said I have my pen. So if you want to get the global talent visa, you want to know how it works for United Kingdom or what it takes. I believe the one for United Kingdom works, it applies to other countries as well. So it's just similar processes. I would advise that you don't just listen while scrolling, just unless maybe you want to come back to the recording when it's uploaded. Have your notes to take the lessons so that you can go and apply them. Yes. So this webinar is brought to you by Glotale. Glotale, we connect talents opportunities. That's what we do, and we have one talent here that global talent visa is a very big opportunity. We know what it means. We've been talking about it now, and they'll be walking us through their own journey with Glotale as well. So we connect talents to opportunities. That's what we do. Remember, Marilyn, you will help me with the slogan. Becoming a global talent. Global talent is what?
It's a journey, not a destination.
A journey, not a destination. So they have started their journey with us and they want to be sharing their experiences so that yourself can know what it takes to be eligible. So we have Mr. Eligible in the person of Bankole derail. I hope I pronounced it fine. Sorry.
Yeah, you're quite there. It's
Yeah.
okay. Bank for your
So
agenda.
he's going to be a doctor too. We have a lot of doctors. The only difference is that these are doctors are our clients. They have worked with us. They have gone through the eligibility section. So they will tell you one or two things, insider tips. And they will come back and tell you their testimonial. Yes.
Amen.
So there's a lot to learn. And I believe this is going to clarify a lot of persons too. A lot of persons that are watching, we are online. So many things are happening online. People are not clear. These services, are you people real and legit? These are real life customers. You can check them out. They are not fake people. So, and they've worked with us and they have seen us as real human beings. So we are very legit. Glotale, and all of that. So we are going to be, walking through a lot with them. For Bankole challenges, he needed to refine and strengthen the quality of his evidence to meet the criteria. Bankole, you can correct me anywhere I missed it though.
Yeah.
So then some of his supporting documents required better alignment with technician guidelines. That's for the tech. They are the endorsing body for the tech routes, right? Those that are going to the tech routes for the Global Talent Visa UK. So the endorsing body is technician. So his supporting documents still needed to align with the technician guidelines. And these are the discovery from the section.
Right.
Then he needed clearer proof of impacts and influence in the digital tech sector. So he's a product manager, lead analyst. So many. So he's too talented. You can see all of those things. Yeah. So he has to get the visa. Now, was he eligible? Yes. Bankole emerged as a Glotale eligible talent ready to take the next step towards his global talent visa application. And we're hopeful that he's going to get it. Now, the next steps is that we've recommended a strategy section for him to strengthen his application. He needs to enhance documentation that will align with the technicians' eligibility requirements, and we are going to focus on structuring his evidence to demonstrate significant achievements. We have some questions for him, towards the end of the section because after meeting our panelists, knowing them, Dr. Marilyn is going to walk us through some of the processes, what it takes to get the visa and some insider tips we also need to know for free. She's a very big advisor, and she's going to be giving us for free so many things, yes, as our big advisor, with us. So while our big man, our Christian brother, and Christian client is also going to be sharing his own experience with us. Everybody is a talent. He's going to also be eligible at this point. For Kristen, please can we see Kristen's scenario? So his own case is there is no sufficient experience in the product-led digital technology company. So he needed stronger evidence of expertise, leadership, and impact in the tech ecosystem. Limited contributions to the industry-related activities such as speaking engagements and open source projects. Was he eligible? Not yet, but he will be. I believe so. Now, for the Global Talent Visa endorsement, now the next steps is that we've decided to give him, we want him to get like a 12 months of experience in the product-led digital tech company, participate in high-profile digital technology events as a speaker, engage in structured mentorship programs to enhance his industry presence, contribute actively to open source projects and tech-focused NGOs. So these are two case scenarios. One is eligible, and you've seen the challenges, you've seen his next steps. The other one is not eligible yet, but you've seen things that he can do to be eligible. So it depends on who you are and what your own situation is in the journey. So this section is for you to be prepared. Prepare just to prepare you so that you can, meet up based on your own situation. So at this point, at this junction, I think we can start the session proper. I'll hand over to Dr. Marilyn Amusa, voiceover, to come in and take over. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. If you are joining us, depending on where you are, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, hopefully Instagram people, we are live right now. Can you just maybe say hello, tell us where you're joining from, or let's just see your presence, your virtual presence, because that would encourage us, to keep going. So please, if you have any question as well as we move along, just put that on whatever platform you're joining from. Okay, so now we are going to move on to talk about, we talk about global talents. Who is a global talent? Who is a global talent? Global talent visa. Before you get the visa, so global talent visa, before you get to the visa part, you have global talent. So we really want to talk about who a global talent is and what really makes up a global talent. And first of all, we are going to be considering that a global someone that is good. It's highly skilled to be a top earner in their field, right? So highly skilled person, top earner in their field, and potentially they also engage in extracurricular activities. If we can have put that slide on display, that would be great. So the global talent slide on display. Yes, so highly skilled, top earner in their field. If you, so that is, you can see that inner circle. A global talent, usually the UK will use the words, we want to attract the best and brightest in a particular sector. So that best and brightest in that sector has to be highly skilled, right? You a professional, you have skill. And when we talk about highly skilled, for using the digital technology as an example, you don't have to be the typical programmer. You don't have to be the technical person. You can be the business person. But the most important, the core of this visa is that you're someone who is skilled in your profession. And of course, skill attracts the money, right? So the remuneration. But sometimes as well, I mean, you can be highly skilled, you may not be the highest earner, right? So it's say top earner because it's one of the things they request for. Do you have high salary? But that's not the only thing. So I've seen cases where people are really top in their profession, but they are not the highest earners in that space, right? But of course, as you go up the ladder, you're getting promotions, you're getting more money, and so on and so forth. So extracurricular, let's now begin to move away from that core and start broadening. There are other things outside your immediate occupation you start getting involved in, like maybe you have social impact, you are contributing to an open source project, you're mentoring people, you're bringing what you have in you beyond your occupation, contributing outside your immediate occupation, you're helping other people, you're getting involved in the community. So all the things you do outside your immediate occupation. In fact, they usually state it in the digital technology sector for the visa. They mention work you've done outside your immediate occupation. Then all of this coming together, you see at that outside circle leadership. So everything is gearing towards your thought leadership, you're winning awards. All these are coming from, they are not automatic, they are coming from the things you've been doing over the years, contributions you've made, the impact. Gradually people start to invite you to review some other people's work or judge other people's work because you now have an opinion, because they see you as an authority in that field, as a thought leader, or you become a distinguished member in that community or in that profession. So all of these, that's why we use the mantra, global talent is a journey and not a destination, because even when people get the global talent visa, you don't stop at that. So for example, to the glory of God, I won an award just last week as AI champion. I already got the global talent visa, but that does not mean I would then stop, right? Because there are certain things I was doing even before I got to know about the global talent visa that I just carried on doing. Naturally, I just carried on doing. It's just an offshoot of the passion I have, the skills I have, the contributions I want to make to the community. And those are the sort of things that really put you out there and help you also grow your personal brand. So that journey to becoming a global talent is beyond. Oh, okay. Somebody has brought a question. Keep it coming. So that journey to becoming a global talent, it's even beyond the global talent visa. So what I usually advise people is, if the global talent visa, I mean, at this stage is your moon, you're shooting for the moon. Sometimes you can land on the stars, and that stars could be even promotion within your company. We had the case of someone as well who got, even though she did not get the global talent visa, she landed on a skilled worker visa, or getting a job, right? So if the things you're doing, all those things that stated, the first time I had a look at the criteria, I counted myself out. I said, no, I am not eligible, I'm not qualified. But gradually, I started looking at it. I started piecing those different things together. And I realized it was a huge blessing for me going through that process because it helped me realize some of the things I was even doing that I didn't see as very, I was just doing them. I didn't see them as having weight or impact on my career. And I started to dig in, look at some of the things I've done. And it helped me also build my confidence in my capabilities, my proficiency as a professional. So that also started helping me form a voice. I could, it's like, as an entrepreneur, you have a product. You are a product, you are a brand, you're a personal brand to yourself and to the world out there. So as gradually you start putting these things together, you start forming like a pitch of who you are. The stories start connecting, right? And it's all about telling your story. It's all about showing how unique you are. And these all come together to make you a global talent. And everyone is unique. Not everyone is going to have all of this in one place, but it's a combination of different things that make you who you are, that make you the best and brightest in your field, that make you stand out and make you outstanding in your field. So Farouk asked a question, and please, if you have any question from wherever you're joining from, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever, even YouTube, please put your questions down so that we can go through them as we move along. So Farouk is asking, you mentioned awards. What can potentially count as awards? So I would say whatever you have in your industry that counts you as someone who is reputable, that make you outstanding. So the example that I gave, I work in the artificial intelligence field. That's my field. And the award I got is AI Champion Award. So it aligns to, first of all, the award is a technology award, right? So they had different categories, and I was nominated in the AI Champion category, and then I went on to become a finalist and then to winning the award, right? So there would be some awards in your sector, assuming your sector is tech and maybe you are a UI person. Within that tech award, there might be whatever it might be called. So user experience award or some other thing, best programmer. I've seen different ones, programmer of the year, engineer of the year, yeah, and even employee of the year, even rising star of the year. So yeah, there are different awards depending on your sector. Okay, so let's move on. Now we want to look at, this is very important to also note, these are some terms we use: exceptional talent, exceptional promise. So when we have coaching sessions with people, we also try to determine where they will fall into. To be fair, the global talent visa is global talent visa. When you get the visa, you have the global talent visa, right? And whether exceptional talent or promise is just a question of how many years it's going to take you to get your permanent residency. I'm speaking specifically about the UK right now. So exceptional talent are usually people who have spent more than 5 years in their sector. So they are expected to have a track record of what they've achieved in that sector. So for digital technology sector, let's say you've been working in the digital technology sector for 7 years, 10 years, how many? Well, above 5 years, you can show track record of what you've done over the years. Promise are people who are still early career in that sector. So maybe you've been in the sector for 2 years, 3 years, 5 or less, and you are really, there are potentials in you. There are things that show that you are making efforts, you're making some achievements. So you're like a rising star. Yeah, a rising star in your sector. Okay. Now, how does it work? How does it work? And this is something that is very, very important, because when people come to us, let's say they complete an eligibility questionnaire, what the first question in their mind is, am I eligible or am I not eligible? And sometimes it's not an exact science, right? Eligible or not, but there are certain things that we begin to look out for. We ask, So if someone is eligible, then the question is, how eligible are they? Are they immediately eligible? Let's say they have more than 50% chances of it. We're not assessors, right? We are not assessors, so we can, that's why I said it's not an exact science. We're not assessors, but from looking at their profile, from looking at the what the criteria is saying, what the guideline is saying, we can say, okay, this person, you see, it's a chance, it's a probability. So this person has more than 50% chance. So we would recommend them to that they go for the endorsement coaching, or we recommend that they proceed with preparing the application. Then if somebody is fairly eligible, maybe there are a few things, they have some strengths, they have some weaknesses, then we can recommend that they go through an accelerate process to help them address those gaps so they can become eligible. And like I want to emphasize this as well, in as much as, yes, your target can be that I want to get a global talent visa, but also we also point out that there are several other options to explore along that journey. So you don't discard those options as well. So for a typical example, when I mapped out what my strategy would be when my visa was expiring, I was in the UK on a student visa. So one, I actually had, yes, the post-study visa was like part of the plan. Skilled worker visa was in the plan, and then global talent visa came along. I got to know about it and I added it to the plan as well. So don't limit yourself, because as you're walking through those things to get yourself eligible with the global talent visa as your moon, you could land in the stars, and the stars could be equally valuable for you at that point, because the things that you get to do, to maybe the weaknesses that were identified that you start working on, some of them you would see they can also help you improve your personal brand and help you ultimately in your meeting your career goals. So what about those that are not eligible? Okay, those people can then maybe pass through, still working through that accelerates to global talent visa. But generally, it's like them accelerating, doing, being specific about things that they can do to help them navigate through that whole preparation. And the target, the goal is that they eventually get to the place where they will be eligible for the global talent visa and they can apply, right? But we also want to make you understand that this is not a, people say it's not a Ponzi scheme. It is a process that can take you some time as well. So you have to be patient with it. You also have to be consistent with it. Then there are other visa routes that people can also explore if they are not eligible. So yes, global talent visa is, in fact, we sometimes we call it like the golden visa. We call it the miracle visa, because we know how it has actually helped people. Not needing a sponsor in the UK is a big blessing, because it's really, especially for immigrants, because we have a lot of forces, we are trying to fight against, and I mean, a lot of resistance, a lot of factors. So bringing the visa alongside and sponsorship cannot be an additional burden. So this kind of gives you a lot of freedom to grow in your career. But at the same time, even if you're not eligible, there are still other options to explore, legitimate options. So I would run through securing your global talent visa. So what are the steps? So we can break this down and people can be clear on what it takes to secure the global talent visa. It's a journey. We start from eligibility assessment, understanding if you qualify, do you qualify for the visa? And that process can also give you more information. You can use it to ask questions to really understand so many things, like what's the criteria, get a lot of clarity. Step two would then be strategy session. This is where we begin to align your evidence with the criteria and help you select the key documents. So using the digital technology as an example, you have 10 pieces of evidence that is required. Well, when I say required, you don't have to have all 10, but if somebody has to, tells you that 10 pieces of evidence is the max, right? Why don't you max it out? So 10 pieces of evidence, and we help you map your, it's like a digging. We begin to dig in the positive sense. What have you done? And start to bring those things out. And surprisingly, some people have done several things that they forgot, or they didn't even see that it could be relevant for this application. So it's a very, very detailed process. And for me, when I went through a process like this, it was very revealing for me. It helped me as well really appreciate the work, because sometimes we are our own worst critic. We don't appreciate the kind of effort and work we've put into our career so far. And it really helped me as well become more strategic as well with the opportunities that I pick up, making sure that I am not just wasting opportunities, or I'm not allowing opportunities pass me by that would be relevant for my career in the future. Then the third step, recommender selection, identifying recommenders. Your network is your net worth. This is one place that that quote is like 100%, because you need people that will vouch for you. You need people that will recommend you, people that will endorse you for this application. Then evidence gathering. So from what you've done in the strategy session and recommender selection, you then, we help you as well with this process, gathering evidence, finding. So some people, oh, is this okay? All those will help to clarify what you can use, what you can't use. And then drafting and reviewing. Now, why is evidence gathering different from drafting and reviewing? Because you can gather your evidence, but you still need to prepare your application material, put it together, organize it, arrange it. We had one of our clients who had applied herself. We actually have done a session with her, Chinazol Vivian. So in her case, she had applied herself and she was rejected. So when she came for coaching, we looked at the document, and sometimes when you don't put yourself in the best possible light, assessors won't get to see who you are and understand your story and what makes you unique for this application. So that's why we say compelling story. It's your story. We're not manufacturing any story. It's your story. It's what you've done. It's your work. So how do you put it in a way that it becomes compelling to the assessors, so they can actually see your work in the best possible light, and it will help them to make it easy for them to endorse you by showing them what you have done, very clearly, and how it matches to the criteria. And we have packages along this whole, so we've broken this whole process down step by step, and we are able to support. Full coaching is end to end. Some people just want review, and the strategy is like, okay, I want to take away, go get out of that session, have my 10 piece of evidence, and I'm able to take that away, and then use that to go through the rest of the process. And for people who are not ready or eligible yet, we also provide some support. Like we said, the moon for you can be the global talent visa, but you can land in the stars. Along that journey, think about it as I'm branding myself. I'm doing the things that, because everything I see in that criteria, everything you're doing there, ultimately it's going to be very, very good on your CV. Like I said, even though I've gotten the visa, I still do. In fact, that I still look back at the things that I went through, the things that I identified from that whole process, and it's still helping me till today to carry on with my global talent journey. So I'm still on the journey. It's he just like what they say is old soldier never dies, right? So you just keep exercising yourself. You're a global talent. So I still do those things. I still carry on. And so it's been helpful, and it continues to be helpful for me. So okay, think that is everything, and we I will hand back to Miracle too, because we have amazing talent here who are also going through the process, so they can tell us more about their experience so far and what they've been up to.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. Thank you, Dr. Marilyn. All right. Looks like we are having some questions. Some persons are asking questions. So we have a question from Instagram. I don't know, maybe we'll have to answer that question before we allow our panelists to, continue or to take their questions. And I believe some of our audience will also have questions from conversations and responses of the panelists as well. So someone is asking the financial aspect of our brand. Please, can the financial aspect of our brand come after the who is who is asking this question? Okay, I think somebody it's not I think it's a different question, but someone is asking about the awards, the awards. If awards you get from maybe pitch competitions can also count as awards.
Yeah, so Farouk asked, will a scholarship stand as an award, or for a pitch competition where an award was given for a tech pitch?
Yes.
Yeah, so those awards can be. Remember that with this application, it's not just one thing that you're looking at, it's holistic. So if that award maybe is tied to your business, you're an innovator, entrepreneur, you can, yeah, it's all part of the story. It adds up. Then when you talk about scholarship, I use the scholarship for my application. So I had the criteria academic research, where they mentioned that if you have some awards, as part of your research journey and achievement. So I used scholarships I've gotten, I added that to mine as well. So yeah, it was part of it.
All right, all right. Okay, so we'll just allow our panelists to come in. I know there are some questions that we'll bring up, but let's allow them, share their own experiences as well. So we'll start with Bankole at the derail. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We are really, really
Yeah.
happy. And we have some questions. So can you tell us what motivated you to explore this visa route?
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you 100%.
All right, great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Dr. Marilyn, for the delivery, the shed light into the whole GTV route. Okay. How did I find myself in this? Well, a little bit of a background story. I came to the UK July 2022. I almost secured a skilled worker visa, but if you are familiar with the skilled worker visa thing, you know that it's a bit restrictive. It doesn't give you so much freedom if you need to go into so many um, use cases for your career or for your certificate or whatever. And what do I mean? For instance, the fact that you need to be sponsored gives some mobility restriction, because if you need to move from, say, company A to company B, that means company B must be ready to sponsor your skilled worker visa or continue your sponsorship before they can take it on. So there's that excuse me, mobility restriction of some type. Then again, if you are the type that maybe you want to do some other work as part of your extended uh, work. For instance, now maybe you are a tech guy, you're doing your 9 to 5, and you also have, I'm just using an example now, you are a musician, maybe you play the bass guitar and you want to join XYZ
Mm.
band, as a part-time worker or something. You really can't do that here because your visa is kind of restricted to your career, or the field with which you applied to get that visa here. So it's a bit restrictive. Then of course, for a lot of other people too, there has to be there's a salary threshold, requirements to skilled worker visa. So again, the background is it's a bit restrictive. If you feel that you want to be mobile, career wise or work wise and things like that. So I just felt, okay, why not see if GTV, it's a good option. And fortunately, my career spans over 20 years, 24 years thereabout. And I felt, okay, I've done enough both back in Nigeria and even here in UK to merit that, because of the kind of solutions I've been engaged with over time, and so on and so on. So I felt, yeah, I should be able to. Fortunately, when I went through the checklist or survey from Glotale, to see, okay, if I tick this box, tick this box, whether I now saw that, oh, well, I think I have this thing. The only issue is getting evidences to support the application. So that is where the thing
Right.
is. So yeah, so going through that checklist, I saw that, yeah, I have to a large extent, I have most of the things required, and the kind of history I have with developing solutions, although within banking industry. Okay, but it's how you tell, just like Dr. Marilyn said, is how you tell the story, around what you've done. So, and I feel that's why I I should toe this path.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
thank you.
thank you so much. That was so explicit. Yeah, you mentioned something about the checklist from Glotale. How did it shape your understanding?
Yeah.
And yeah, can you clarify? And yeah, I know you've mentioned about your challenges as well. With getting all of the evidence for the application. So, but what key factors made you eligible for the visa, or you think makes you eligible for the visa? Yeah.
Sorry, can you ask the
Yeah,
question
so
again?
you pointed out that the checklist from Glotale, yeah,
Yeah.
helped you in, putting your documents together, or is helping you to put your documents together. Yeah, so
So
how
yeah,
how
yeah.
can how did the um, eligibility section where you got the checklist, how has it shaped your understanding of the
Oh,
process?
okay. Yeah, at least. All right, thanks, Miracle. I think first of all, it tells you how far behind you are in meeting up with the criteria for being able to proceed to applying and putting your things together. At least it tells you this is the picture. This is how I look first, to know, okay, what are the embellishments, or well, not embellishment might not be the right word now. What are the places that need me to get, things to make the eligibility tick off as passed there. So for me, I think um, the most important thing, when it came to my own, is I realized that I need to fall back on the past relationship that I have with places I worked with before. Because if you have worked in many organizations, some of the things you need refers to some things you've done. Some of them you need figures, because part of it is you need to show
Hmm.
some metrics. For instance, if you worked on a product, you need to tell, okay, how many clients were onboarded, what was the revenue, maybe the first 3 years. So some of those things you need to get. So those figures, you may have forgotten them, so you may need to, some of the bridges you've burnt
Hmm.
in the past, you may need to
Hmm.
rebuild them. Okay, so maybe somebody who still works in that organization who you no longer speak with, for various reasons. You might need to reestablish that relationship in order to get those information that you need to build
Mm.
your story in the application. So one major thing, if you burnt your bridges, my guy, you just have to go back and build those bridges. You know, those relationships, the friends you have
Mm.
internally, you know, you just have to go back and start talking to
Mm.
them. Some might tell you outright no, some, you win some, you lose some, but you need to get those details by referring to what you've done, in time past. Some might even require, I mean, let me be frank with you, internal
Mm.
documentation, you know, that you need to back. So some, how do you get it? You are no longer there. You don't have access to your old email, official mailbox to get some of those things. And if you are the part that the type that don't keep records as such, it becomes a problem. For instance, before I left my former employer in Nigeria, my last
Mm.
employer in Nigeria, I was given an award for a project delivery I did, and both recognition and cash award. It was sent as an email, but the letter, award letter was in the email to my official mailbox. If I
Mm.
didn't save it
Mm.
to my personal folder before I left, how do I get the evidence that I
Ah.
got that award? So some of those things you need to fall back on your past relationships within the organization to get them. So I think that's what I'm still working on to get some of those things. Some I've gotten, some I'm still talking to, because I've worked with about 6 different organizations now, and so that's
Mm.
the challenge. you know then again, looking for your people that will recommend you. You need to look for people who are credible enough when they write, who have themselves done stuff that are laudable. So those are the kind of challenges that stare you in the face after going through the checklist to say, okay, I need to have this, I need to have done this, I need this and
Interesting.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
because in the application, sufficiency of your document is important, as well as you don't want to be in those shoes where the issue is now something is missing and you can't fill it up. That's what I understand Bakole to be
Yeah.
saying. So yes, that's very, very spot on. And you've answered some of the questions we have somehow, because you're already telling us the steps you're taking already after the eligibility assessment
Yeah.
you've done with Glotale, which is very key. And you're already pointing out somehow, I'm seeing the key factors that are going to make you stand out. We are praying for you, and we know that God will do it too.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe if you still want to point out some key factors you believe will make you stand out, you can still share. This one is coming from a client to this one is a client, so this one is direct. This everybody, if you are like Bankole, you should also be writing, because like I said, my name is Miracle. A miracle will happen. He will come back and tell you that it has worked.
Amen.
So be writing and taking notes. Maybe by the time he comes back, yourself will now say, yes, I'm ready, because of all the lessons you've also taken from this section. So if there are key factors you believe that would make you stand out or eligible, can you let the audience know, our audience know, let us know? And what advice would you give to others that are just starting their journey?
Okay, I think my advice really is to go through the eligibility first to know where you stand. If you can rate yourself, I mean, if the exercise is on over 10, where do I stand? Am I at 4/10? Am I at 6/10? Am I out, so at least know where you are first. Then where are the gaps? Okay. Then how do I work on the gaps? What type of gaps are they? If it's, for instance, now, where you still need to have maybe mentorship or what do you call it now, speaking engagement, how do I get that sorted and all that? So just look through that eligibility criteria thing is very important. Go through it, tick it up, and know where you stand first. Then know what are the other the pending issues, then what are my fallback options? Do I need to, like I said, go back to my old friends and ask them for favor in getting one or two things? Uh, also, what are the projects that I've done before? Am I able to speak to those projects in the story? For instance, mine, I'm going through the product management. I'm as a product manager or a senior product manager, which is not I'm not a developer, I'm not an engineer, and all of that. So my story will have to be based on product management, and rolling out maybe financial technology solutions, like that. So all I've done in that line for how many years, I need to be able to be specific as to how I did them, my contributions to them, and the impact of those solutions in, say, Nigeria or even West Africa, because some of the solutions I've done before are the ones that I say they are pioneering solutions within the Nigerian fintech or banking sector, if you like. So I think that's my advice. Know where you stand, then see how you can get to the pending
Interesting.
issues.
Interesting. Know where you stand and see where you can. If you want to use it in a tech term, is it virtual reality they call it, Marilyn? So you can see the VR of where you are going to and pursue it and chase it. But even if you aim for the moon, you can land where? In the star. So it's becoming a global talent. It's a journey, right? Not a destination. So, like Mary is saying, you keep exercising, don't give up, don't be discouraged till you become, all of your dreams are achieved. So, thank you so much, Bankoli. Really appreciate that. So we'll be listening to or hearing from Christian. Christian's case is different. So Christian is a different scenario. At the moment, he's not eligible after he has done the eligibility section with us, but we believe that he will soon be eligible because he's accelerating to global talent. And we're going to hear his own side of the story as well. So he's a client with us as well. So Christian, are you ready? We have some questions for you. Really appreciate you for this section. For our audience, please, if you have questions for Bankole, drop it, please. Drop it though, because you might not see him again though. So drop it and get what you want to get now. He's here to answer your questions. Then you can use our WhatsApp line if you also want to have. Believe it's you can use our WhatsApp line if you want to ask us more questions about our services, about what we do and how we can help you as well. We have our WhatsApp line, business line. It's on the screen. You can chat us as well. I would follow up on you on WhatsApp as well to answer your questions or assist you or support you. On the screen, subscribe our YouTube channel to get notifications when this video is already live. So if you also want to get more notifications about some of our videos that are going to address some of the questions you have, please subscribe to like our channel to get these notifications. All right, so we'll be hearing from Kristen at the moment. Kristen Melo. I hope I pronounced this fine. Sorry if I killed it though. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
We'll settle later. So, Kristen, what motivated you to explore this route as well, global talent visa route?
Okay. Thanks for having me here. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
For me, I think we all need to understand that we're economic migrants. And as economic migrants, it's important that you understand that you're always going to be gauged by the value that you're going to bring. So I'm not going to repeat a lot of things because Bankole has said a lot, and as well Marilyn as well, about the technicalities of the global talent visa, how it gives you independence from anybody and you're on your own, and what happens to your stay in the UK is based on you, not attached to anybody anymore. But if you look at the global talent criteria, it lets you know firmly that as an economic migrant, you need to show your value. It's very clear. Like you can't. It's not. The criteria is not. It's you can't dodge being able to show your value. So for me, I'm on a skilled worker visa. but I took it up as a challenge for me to be able to better shape myself and shape my career going forward. You understand? I don't know if I'm coming across.
Yeah, you're making a lot of sense. It makes sense. I've seen the reason.
So
Yeah,
so that's it. So
absolutely.
so I could have stayed with the skilled worker visa, but you know, I feel that if I put myself through the process of arranging my career and being able to get a global talent, the the rewards from those actions is going to be continuous. Do you
Yeah.
understand? And it's going to continue to put me in better positions. Because look, the um competition as an economic migrant is crazy. We're competing with people from China, we're competing with people from India. So looking at the global talent, it shows you the pathway to move yourself to the top of the list.
Mm.
And that's my motivation for
That's
trying to
good.
get the visa.
That's very powerful because you have the flexibility compared to the skill worker visa that does not give you the flexibility to change employment, right? And you're kind of
Yes.
restricted. So it's clear. It's very clear. And the benefits of self-employment for someone that's entrepreneurial, you want to do your own business and all that. It comes with all of this package. So why won't you be free? So it's a good reason. You believe the eligibility section shaped your understanding? If yes, can you clarify or let us walk us through how it has, if you believe so. So how did the section with us, Glotale, shape your understanding of the process? So maybe becoming eligible or finding out if you're
Sorry, could
eligible.
you could you report the Sorry,
The
could you repeat the
question,
question,
okay?
please?
Yeah, so you've done the eligibility section with us at Glotale. Yeah, so can you tell us how it has helped you understand the whole global talent visa process? Make why you're not eligible, and all that. Yeah, can you just walk us through, your own perspective?
So the thing with the global talent is um Marilyn mentioned how there's two pathways. There's the exceptional promise and there's the exceptional talent.
Yes.
What they don't tell you is that you have the same guidelines for both. So
Yeah.
if you're looking at the guidelines
Yeah.
looks like it's aligned more to somebody that is an exceptional talent than someone that's an exceptional promise.
Yeah.
So you're looking for the guideline for the promise people because what they're asking on the guidelines, as somebody that is trying to go on the pathway of an expressional promise, that's an upcoming artist, or sorry, an upcoming personality. You're looking at those things and it's confusing you because you're looking for your own list. This list is too advanced for me. So that's one of the things the session helped me with. It helped me to understand the guidelines and because when I started the meeting, I was like, look, I know I've seen these guidelines, but just tell me that there's another guideline that I've not seen before. And they're like, sorry, but this is it. It looked daunting, but they helped me to break it down. And honestly, it's not as daunting as it is. It's just that it's going to take a lot of work.
Mm.
If you've not been lucky to be in career, if your career had not taken you to a journey where you were lucky to get all those things, then you just have to sit up and do a lot of work. And yeah, like you said, is a year. And honestly, a year is not that long. If
Yeah.
you can do the things that needs to be done, which is not easy, I'll be honest.
Mm.
You know, because the guidelines are quite strict, especially in regards to working in a or engaging in a product-led development organization or
Mm.
team. It's very, very innovator or profit focused. Like they need to basically they're saying, show you're working. We want to see you create things. We want to see you contributing, creating things, basically. And being able to get yourself in such teams is not easy. So it's challenging, but it's doable.
Yes, it's doable. That's the word, and that's what we're looking for: the resilience, the faith, determination. So you're already advising us and advising our audience. So I'm not seeing questions. Any questions from the audience for Kristen, for Bankole? Please let us know on the chats. Kristen, do you have any question? If someone is asking, can I use a tech? Is this one for Kristen or Bankole or Marilyn? Okay, all of them are doctors now because they are in the process, so they know what is happening. They will give you insider information. Can I use a tech product I designed for consultancy as an evidence? Who wants to answer this? Marilyn, do you want to go for this?
Does any of our panelists want to
Yeah.
first?
Well,
Process.
okay, Dr. Marilyn, you want to? Okay. Well, for me, I'm not. I can't say I'm a final authority in answering this, but what I feel is that I think you can, as long as because I think what they are looking for, in my own understanding, is okay. Is this product that you say you are working on? Is this tech product? Is it of commercial value? What is its impact? Does it have impact? Can you show your contribution as part of the process of building that product? You know, do you have evidences that show your contribution? If you are a developer, for instance, now, do you have contribution to GitHub that shows your contribution on that project and things like that? If you can prove that, I think it will fly. Okay. But again, I'm not an authority on it, but that's just what I feel. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, very good.
We're coming. Thank you, Faru. Thank you, Faru, for that question, and also thank you, Bankole, for the answer you gave. So I would say, let me start from the guideline, and then I can also then narrow down to some exceptions to that. So from the guideline, they do mention that, product led. They explain what a product led company is, and that it excludes general consultancies, outsourcing, and technology related consultancy groups. So it comes down to the capacity in which you were also delivering or working on that product. You have a tech product, you design consultancy. Generally, any product that you create that doesn't form part of, let's say, day-to-day transactions of your organization. Maybe it's a platform. For example, Amazon, they have a platform. So all the transactions, it's connecting the sellers and the buyers. It's their platform. The trading, is trading the right word? All the logistics, all the buying and selling is happening on that platform, right? So it's product in that sense. Then you then have a product that you develop and sell it to another company, and forever you get your money or you get something out of it, and it's forever that company's licensed product because you've sold it. That is generally what consultants do, right? They build something, it's not owned by them or it's not used for their day-to-day transaction, and they sell it out. So generally, if you're working in that capacity, that generally cannot be used as an evidence. But when it comes to exception, that's why I usually point to everybody's journey and story is unique. There are cases where people were working. I've seen a case, someone working in a consultancy, but it's, there are some consultancies where you are deployed into the company as a specialist, right? And you're working maybe for a prolonged period of time on a product or a specialist. It could be a specialist project. So in their case, they made a case that actually, for example, I am working for Glotale, but then I'm deployed as a product person to develop a product for another company, and I've spent maybe 2 years working on that product. There are some consultancies that work in that way. So you're a consultant in your company and you are deployed into a project and you work for so many years or for a long time developing products. for that company. So now that is an exception, but again, it's a very unique case or special case. So generally, any consultancy, anything that you do whereby that product is now sold to another company and no longer belongs to you in that sense is not going to be acceptable as an evidence. So that's what they're very, very specific about product led, what it means, the definition, and what you can use to demonstrate that you meet the criteria. What I would suggest as well is that within you have the leadership criteria, which is mandatory. You have the optional, which you can choose 2 out of 4. Interestingly, when I applied, I can't even pinpoint one company that I was working with that was product led. Right. So people just hang on product led, and they get scared because I had to look for what criteria aligns with what I was doing. And then that's why I went for criteria immediate. I think it was OC2, optional criteria 2, what I was doing outside my immediate occupation, and OC4, which was research. Right. So that took away the scare of product led from me. So still look at the criteria. We can also help you and advise you, okay, out of these 4, which one closely aligns with where you are right now? And even if you're not eligible, which one, based on where you're going, what you're doing, what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, which one could you potentially like work towards meeting? Yeah.
We're already having key takeaways. My eye just opening. You know when you're seeing like new lights, your eyes open. That's what happening to me now. Free lights from our panelists. This is spot on, free of charge. This is wonderful. Okay, so back to Kristen. Any advice you want to give to others who might not be eligible yet, but they are working towards it? You can just drop for our audience so that they can catch fire, not like fire, like morale boosts. Yes.
Well, I'm sure if I'm wrong on this, Marilyn will correct me. But one of the important things that I understood is that, which was one of the important questions I needed to get answered, and that's one of the reasons why I did the eligibility session. Your association or employment with the product leg that way, if that's how you want to apply for the global talent, does not necessarily have to be a full-time employment, because I think you're not going to be asked to say anything about how many days a week, so that you work there, so if you're doing, so you could be somewhere you're volunteering during the weekend, and yeah, and that's it. It doesn't have to be, because sometimes people feel that they need to quit their full-time job to go and look for another job so that they'll be able to apply for global talent. But I understand that you really don't have to do that. If you can find an organization that you can work with part-time, you don't really have, you're not going to specify that you're working there part-time when you're doing the application. So if you can find an organization that you can work with part-time, then that can work as well.
Yeah, let me add to that. That's a very good point, because some people feel that they are limited because maybe they are working in a place and it doesn't just meet up with the criteria, right? For example, the consultancy we're talking about, there's actually been a case of someone who sometimes it's even the name of the role. Imagine you had consultant to your role, attached to your role, let's say something consultant, data consultant, for example, just that word is already to them. You're already afraid that because of that word consultant, you might not be eligible. But sometimes you might find that in that case, the person made a case where that the work they were doing was split between consulting and product development. They made a case, but they also were doing something to boost their technical background. So they're also working as a developer in a startup that they co-founded, right? So they were also able to bring that in to show that, for example, you're an organization, you might where if you have opportunity to wear multiple hats, even though maybe what you're doing is consulting, is there something you can also do that can boost your technical background? In that case, this person was doing like a split between consulting and product development, right? Because it's a small organization, it's a startup like kind of company. So in cases where maybe you don't have the immediate opportunity because of the nature of your work, there are even some companies, once you call their name, everybody already knows at consulting or agency, right? Because they're already known for that. Is there something you can be doing? Maybe you have a friend who has a startup, you get involved in doing that just to help build that technical background if you are in the technical line, for example, or business background if you're in the business line. So also think outside the box around what you might have capacity to do that can augment whatever you have as possible evidence.
Okay. Our time is fast spent. There's some questions we had for Christian, but because of time, we had to skip those questions. Like, okay, maybe things like the key reasons why he was not eligible after the sections we talked. But we still have more sections. These are the things that we're going to catch up on more on our channel. Like we said, if you have questions, please you can reach out to us on our WhatsApp line. Just scan the QR code on the screen. You can get one-on-one, support by scanning the QR code on the screen. You can see that. Me, I can see it, so you can get one-on-one support from us. I will attend to all your questions. We encourage you to also subscribe on our channels, our YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook. They are all there. Use the QR code as well to connect with us. Key takeaways from today's section. This is the main thing. Yes, it's going to be on our channel anyway. It will be listed, but we can just do like a wrap with that. I know we've spent too much time. We've stretched, and our wonderful panelists, you people are amazing. God will bless you here on earth and in heaven. So,
Amen.
but there are a lot of lessons, key takeaways. We can just do like a recap to encourage actions. Some persons can just begin to take that home. I remember a few, the OC2 and OC4. Don't be scared with the product led. That one, the thing has entered my medulla oblongata. Don't be scared. So yeah, we can just do like recaps. I don't know who wants to go first. Even if we get like 5, 6 key takeaways, and we can wrap with that. I've mentioned one. Who wants?
Rebuild your bonds bridges.
He said, Bankole.
I said rebuild your bonds
Review.
bridges.
Hey, oh my God. How would I forget that one? Oh,
Yeah, I wrote that one.
that's very correct. Me, let me not say anything, Sha, but rebuild your bonds bridges. Very important. Recommenders, those bridges, they would help you. They need to vouch for you. Okay. Any other more? Want to bring out?
I think I will say I will echo what Christian said earlier.
Yeah.
I hope it's not what I wanted to say it. Hey!
And talks about economic migrants. I love that
Yeah.
term. And if you put yourself through the process of arranging your career, the reward will be continuous. So I just dropped that. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, the one I wanted to say was the one of the last one you just said, that you can be volunteering, you can do something on the side. That was still fresh in my memory. All right, at least the other ones, let's go and watch the video and try and take notes ourselves. But we'll try and put it on the channel to make it very simple for us to understand. And at this junction, we are so happy for staying with us up to this point. Please, we are so happy. We are so happy for staying with us up to this point. And we are wishing you all success in your journey. We hope to see Christian and Bankole
Thank
come
you.
on this section to share their testimony. I will be singing and
Yes,
will
yes,
not be
yes.
singing and dancing. Hey, I will dance
Yes,
that day. I will dance.
Definitely, we'll be back.
Ah, I like your feet.
definitely.
I like it. Come on.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
All right, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Catch
night.
you again. And